Hello, Ken. Thanks for tuning in. I decided to do something a little bit different today. I decided to give a fan analysis breakdown of the actual matchup coming up this week in the 2021 season, where the Michigan Wolverines will play host to the Western Michigan Broncos. I do not have any insiders. I haven't really done a whole lot of research. This is just the off-the-cuff fan analysis of what I think will happen in this game and how I think Michigan may or may not look. I have to start by saying there are a lot of question marks for the Michigan Wolverines coming into the season. I think that's obvious. I think everybody knows that. There's a new defensive coordinator. The coaching staff looks pretty different. There's a co-offensive coordinator this year. So in terms of play calling, nobody really knows what to expect. And if they tell you otherwise, they're probably lying. I expect the offense won't be entirely different. Maybe a little bit more of a renewed focus on the run game. But I expect the general scheme to stay the same. I think the defense will look totally different. I think it's primarily going to be a 3-4. I expect to see a mix of coverages between man and zone. But until we actually see the product on the field, it's all just guesswork right now. They've been pretty tight-lipped about what they're actually going to be running. What do I think the outcome will be of the game? I think Michigan's going to win. I think they'll win probably by 14, 17, maybe. Western Michigan is a good team. They're a very good MAC team. I think the talent still wins out. However, if Michigan does not show up to play, they could get upset. I think Western Michigan is that good of a team that if Michigan sleeps on them, then they're in for a surprise. I honestly don't follow Western Michigan that closely. I kind of keep tabs on them a little bit here and there, but I know enough to know that they are a very solid football team. And Michigan better not take them too lightly. Quarterback play. How do I feel about Cade McNamara since he's been named the starter? I'm optimistic. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty optimistic about it. Do I think he's going to be the greatest quarterback in the country? No, I don't. That would be unrealistic. If you look at what he did last season without a full offseason of work as the number one, didn't even work with number one offense snaps during practice throughout most of the season. But when he came in at the end of the year, I thought he showed a lot of upside. I think there's a lot to work with there, and I think a full offseason as the number one, and definitely a full fall camp looking like the number one quarterback, and going into each week as the number one quarterback, I think that will help him a lot. I think he has a pretty good grasp of the offense. I do not expect what's the word I'm looking for? An extreme amount of progress from him. I think it's going to fall somewhere between the extremes. I think they're going to see an average amount of progress for him as a quarterback. It's going to be somewhere between a lot and a little. Especially to start the season, and hopefully he'll grow, as he gets that the game experience as the season goes on. I expect that the play calling will be very vanilla, offensively and defensively. Probably more so on the defensive end because it's a lot for the defense to adjust to. It's a whole new system, and if you want your guys to play fast, then you can't feed them too much too soon. I expect it to be vanilla in the sense that they're not going to throw out a lot of crazy or varied looks. They're still going to run their base defense, but I think they will, as long as they have the game in hand, they will stay in that as much as they can so that their players can play faster so they don't have to think as much. The offense should be a different story. I think they're not going to show anything crazy because they won't want to tip their hand if they do have anything like that in their playbook, and shouldn't need it against Western Michigan. But all these players have been in the system. They should know it really well, so you shouldn't have to hold anything back. And that'll be one nice thing this year. Skill positions, I think, on offense, they're pretty solid. I like our running back room. Hopefully Blake Corum can develop into that home run hitter. And Hassan Haskins is an angry runner, and I do always like that. The offensive line should be pretty solid. You got a bunch of guys that have been there for a while. Zach Zinter is probably the youngest, I think. He's probably going to play right guard, maybe center. I think this is his second year, but everybody else has got quite a bit of an experience, if I remember correctly, across the offensive line. Maybe not a lot of starting experience, but they've been in the program for a while. So I expect that group to play well. I'll be disappointed if they don't. The tight end group, again, it's guys you've seen before. They should be pretty solid there. Wide receiver, same thing. You got a lot of guys that have been in the program for a while. This is Ronnie Bell's third year, I think. Third or fourth year in the system, and he's obviously going to be their number one. So just a bunch of guys that you've seen there before. I would like to see the wide receiver group run crisper routes, get more separation, and make things easier for the quarterback. But it's also on the quarterback to find them when they get open, because there have been a number of times the last couple seasons for Michigan where their wide receivers have gotten open and the quarterback hasn't found them. So that's, you know, it's a double-edged sword there. On one hand, wide receivers need to get more separation. On the other hand, when they do win their battles, the quarterback's got to find them. It's not rocket science. Defensively, I don't really know what to expect from this group. Obviously, you got the big names like Aiden Hutchinson and Daxton Hill. You expect those guys to show up and ball out. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody. But there are a number of question marks on the defense. You know, you got some potential new faces at linebacker. Corners, you might have familiar faces, but how much did they improve? Because last year they didn't play well. However, I think a scheme change could help a few of those guys, and hopefully it does. You know, if they're not on an island all game and the opponent knows or doesn't know that they're going to be out there on an island all game, that can only help your defense. So I think in that sense that will help them. But a lot of question marks. We don't really know until we see the product on the field. You know, they got a new defense coordinator, Mike McDonald. He's never called defensive plays before. He's never been defensive coordinator. But he's been in the NFL, so he's got to know something, you would like to think. So we'll see how that all plays out. I think overall the talent's there. It's been there. They just got to put it all together on the field. They got to show up and ball out every single game. I feel like sometimes that's been a problem. They've either come in without matching the opponent's intensity, or have looked sloppy at times, not focused. So that needs to be improved. And I think the play calling is the big thing that needs to get better. Defensively, again, we don't know. That's going to be a big question mark. And hopefully, if you can get varied looks and good scouting, then that'll go a long ways for your defense to keep the offense off balance. Offensively, it just needs to be better. You've got to set up plays better. When something is working, you've got to continue to go back to it. No score here. A lot of little things like that. And hopefully they get all their the wrinkles smoothed out of that offense at this point. It's year 3. It's now or never, basically. So that's my take on the game. I just thought I'd do something a little bit different, a little different than my my just strictly gaming videos. But I figured since I was offensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines, maybe I'd throw in my 2 cents. And if people like it, maybe I'll keep doing it for the rest of the season. And I will try to get on and do a post-game video as well, just to kind of see what my predictions were, how things are playing out, you know, how wrong I may have been, which I'm sure I'll be wrong about a few things. Yeah, my prediction for the game, like I said, is Michigan probably going to win by 14 to 17 points. I expect the run game to have a nice day. I think the passing game will be solid, but I don't expect any huge numbers. I think your big numbers are going to come from the running game. I think the Hassan Haskins, Blake Corum duo should be able to do some special things this year. So, especially against Western Michigan, I expect them to run the ball quite a bit, and I expect them to put up some pretty good numbers. That's my prediction for this one. Defensively, I don't really know. I'm hesitant to make any predictions because I just don't know what you're going to get out of this defense. The corner position is a concern. Western Michigan has an experienced quarterback who's really good. So if the defensive backs are not on top of their game, I think they could get exposed a little bit, and that might make things a little bit ugly from a defensive standpoint. But we'll have to see how things play out. So if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if you like this video, if you want me to keep doing videos like this. I think it's fun, just a different a fan perspective, if you will. Like I said, I don't have any insider contacts. I don't do, you know, I'm not doing a script. This is all just a fan's perspective off the cuff. That's kind of fun. I just thought I'd try something a little different, offer up something a little bit different. So yeah, leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Hit that notification bell if you like this video and want a notification of when I put out more. So that's all I got on this one. Remember, all love, all the time. Peace.